Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Introducing PerformancePlus for Choir. My name is Felicia Elenum, and I will be running everything in the background for our session today. We're thrilled to host today's webinar, and we can't wait to show you just how exciting this new series is. I am going to now turn things over, so let's get started, and I'll introduce to you our three presenters for today. Andy Beck is the Director of Choral Publications at Alfred Music. A prolific composer and arranger, he has over 450 popular choral works, vocal resources, and children's musicals currently in print. Krista Hart is a former music educator with a passion for choral music. Two of Krista's recent publications, A Music Teacher's Gratitude Journal and The Mindful Music Classroom, bring social emotional learning to both music students and to their teachers. And the newest member of the Alfred choral team is Associate Choral Editor Jack Zaino. Jack is a choral educator from New England, and he is an experienced middle school music teacher who strives to build community and promote justice through singing. An active writer and arranger, Jack believes in embracing artistry in popular styles. Thank you all for being with us today. Andy, I'm going to turn it over to you to kick things off.
Well, thank you, Felicia, and welcome, everybody. So nice to have you tuning in. If you're on the West Coast, good morning. I know Krista's on the West Coast. If you're on the East Coast, good afternoon. I know Jack's with us from the East Coast, as am I, and we're so excited to unveil over the next hour our brand new innovative series called PerformancePlus. You know, I have worked with Alfred Music for 20 years, and this is the first time in 20 years we have a brand new series. We've got the same great music coming to you from Alfred Choral, combined with the innovative features of our sister company, SmartMusic. I thought I would invite Krista and Jack to pop on the screen here before we get started and just welcome you, clinicians. And I have a question for you. Are you ready?
Okay.
As we unveil this series, what is it? Keep your answer short, please. What is it that you are most excited to share? What feature?
Oh my goodness, all of the pluses. I can't wait to show you what each of the pluses are today. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
I would say I'm excited about the list of names of composers and arrangers that have contributed to this series. I think you're going to see some names that you know and love already. And so I'm excited about that group of people.
That's great. Well, thank you both. I'm interested and excited to see what is to come. Krista's answer kind of leads me to mine, which is, you know, we've got these great writers who I think you know and love already, and they've written some incredible music for the series. There are 10 brand new pieces in the PerformancePlus series available in various voicings, so lots of options for you. We're going to start with an opening number by Mark Hayes and John Parker. It's called Cantimus de Amore. Now, this song is in 2 languages, which is called a macaronic song. Did you know there was a word for that when you include 2 languages? Macaronic. The Latin is very brief. It's mostly in English, but the Latin phrases mean we sing of love, we dance with joy, we live life fully. So you know this is going to be a very uplifting piece of music. It's an original contemporary piece, but written with Baroque style. So it's got a very joyful minor key, majestic rhythmic lilt. There are some short vocal melismas you'll recognize, a tiny bit of a cappella singing, and a glorious finish with that stereotypical Picardy third, which really lifts us up at the end. Let's review Cantimus de Amore.
Sing of love, come sing.
Isn't that a glorious piece of music, available in 3 different voicings? Now, one of the innovative, probably the most innovative and interesting thing about this new series is we are not printing this music on a traditional octavo, but it's available entirely digitally to you. So you're going to access this at your very own computer. You can do that in 2 ways: by being a SmartMusic subscriber, or by visiting TotalSheetMusic.com. Now, if you go to TotalSheetMusic.com for a song like the one you just heard, you're going to get just that, the sheet music. You're going to be able to purchase the number of prints you'd like and print those out at that time. But we call this Performance Plus. What are the pluses? Those are available to SmartMusic subscribers. And it includes not only the ability to print out the music, but you'll also get part predominant tracks in the SmartMusic platform. You'll get choral rehearsal guides and videos from the writers themselves, many of whom happen to be incredible conductors and educators. Plus, you're going to get those SmartMusic recording, assessment, and assignment tools, which really give you a great way to enhance your teaching, your students' rehearsal process, and their personal practice. Plus, that final performance is really going to shine with all of these extras. Now, this brings me to my own piece called Count Your Blessings. This is a lyrical, melodic, original piece all about gratitude. It's a song of gratitude. I sort of looked around my life and collected ideas that I'm grateful for. Things in nature or music making, family and friends are all listed in the lyrics. And sort of the most important message I want you to take away with you is when you have a practice of measuring and expressing your own gratitude, that in itself becomes a blessing. We're going to review the 2-part voicing of Count Your Blessings.
Can you count your blessings each and every day? Taking time to notice all along the way. Dewdrops in the morning, silver stars at night. Can you count your blessings?
Did you notice that moment of silence just before the piano played the last chord? For me, that's a moment where we've listed specific things in the lyric that we're thankful for. In that silence, can the singers, can the audience, everyone in the room take a moment to reflect on something that they're grateful for? And I share that idea in the rehearsal guide, which SmartMusic subscribers will be able to download, print, and teach from. Not only that, but in my rehearsal guide for Count Your Blessings, you're going to get warm-ups selected that build the skills needed to really master that song. You're going to get social emotional learning activities that are a great way to introduce the concept of gratitude with your singers, plus my step-by-step instructions for how you can teach. It's basically a lesson plan for your choral rehearsal. So that's a great thing to pick up as SmartMusic subscriber. Use those rehearsal guides prepared by the writers. Marquee writers are who we're featuring, the ones that you are already programming in the series. Later in the session, you're going to see music by people like Ruth Morris Gray and Jay Althouse and Sally Albrecht, Mark Burrows, Kirby Shaw, Alan Billingsley, and here's one by a great friend of mine, Victor Johnson. You know, a lot of us do Victor's music. Do you know his very first published song is called Bon Siyahamba? African, and it was published when he was still in high school. He was just a natural from a very young age, and a natural with African pieces. That's what we have here, his arrangement of the very famous South African folk song, Siyahamba. Now, Victor has arranged this with a developing choir in mind, so it's available for 3-part mixed voices and also for 2-part voices with those really accessible ranges, a great accompaniment track, which you can download just by visiting our website, and buoyant rhythms, which are enhanced by some percussion instruments throughout. Here's Siyahamba.
All right. I love that piece. It's hard not to move around in your chair or standing when you hear that piece. You just want to move. So now Andy has mentioned some of the pluses that you get in SmartMusic with these Performance Plus titles. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. Part predominant tracks. This is very exciting. Each title in each voicing offers the option of a full performance or part predominant tracks to rehearse with. So that gives your singers a real option to customize their rehearsal as they are working on this music in SmartMusic, and they can customize it based on how confident they feel about their part. Recording. SmartMusic allows singers to record themselves so they can hear themselves sing, or they can submit those recordings to you for review. So this is a great way to get to hear individual voices and how they're progressing without taking time out of your choral rehearsal or causing stress for those singers who are reluctant to sing alone in front of others. Assessment. This is a big part of SmartMusic, of course. As your singers practice in SmartMusic, they can get immediate feedback using the assessment tool. So they'll see red and orange notes where they've made any mistakes, and green notes for accurate pitches and rhythms. So they don't rehearse bad habits, and they're not practicing without knowing whether they're making any progress. So for those of you who are not currently SmartMusic subscribers, Jack is going to show us a demo of the assessment tool a little later in the session. Print with a regular subscription. This is exciting. For other printable materials in SmartMusic, you have to have purchased the print add-on in order to print, but Performance Plus titles are available to print in the traditional octavo layout with a standard subscription. And assignments. Another SmartMusic feature is the ability to assign pieces or sections to your singers. You can add in your own instructions, you can include assessment options, or create units. So those are just some of the features that come with the Performance Plus titles for SmartMusic subscribers. Now let's jump back into some music and look at Winter Bells. This is the familiar Carol of the Bells melody with original lyrics that celebrate all things winter. So sleigh rides and lights and snow and friends and family and fun. The kids really love this melody. They love to sing it and they love the energy of the song. So you're going to get some really quick buy-in with this piece. Let's listen to Winter Bells.
On the sleigh, jingle away, merry and gay, winter is here, frost on the ground, all winter and fun, sing everyone, songs filled with cheer for all to hear. Ring jingle bells, fast and bright, filled with delight. Bells ring a lady, carolers singing, chill in the air, joy everywhere. All around us there is winter wonder, see it, hear it, feel it, winter wonder. Ring jingle bells, children play, cold winter day, ten native songs, all that to go. Smiles everywhere, glad news to share, joy, songs filled with cheer for all to hear. Ring jingle bells, fast and bright, filled with delight. Bells ring a lady, carolers singing, chill in the air, joy everywhere. All around us there is winter wonder, see it, hear it, feel it, winter wonder. Ring jingle bells, children play, cold winter day, ten native songs, all that to go. Smiles everywhere, memories to share, joy.
Pure Heart. This is a treasured song in Wales, and it's sung in schools, at civic events, and major athletic games. It's a song that everyone knows in Welsh, and they all sing together, and it's a great example of community singing. So here, Doug Wagner has translated the Welsh into English for us, and the lyrics talk about how having a pure and steadfast heart is more valuable than all the riches of the world. The choral rehearsal guide on this one includes some suggestions for social emotional learning connections, as well as rehearsal strategies. Let's listen to A Pure Heart.
I do not aspire to riches, not of precious gems or gold, just a heart that's true and upright, undefiled and self-controlled, with a heart that's pure and steadfast, spotless as the lily white. I will sing of love and kindness. I will light the darkest night. Worldly things which some may value quickly come and quickly go, but a heart that dwells in goodness will go on to thrive and grow, with a heart that's pure and steadfast, spotless as the lily white. I will sing of love and kindness. I will light the darkest night. In the morning when I waken, till the sun at last goes down, I will bring a heart that's leading to the road where I am bound, with a heart that's pure and steadfast, spotless as the lily white. I will sing of love and kindness. I will light the darkest night. I will light the darkest night.
And that was obviously the SSA voicing, but there is a TBB voicing. And if you go on YouTube, you can find lots of cool videos of rugby players and soccer players before or after games singing this song together. So that could be a nice motivation for your tenors and basses if they need a little motivation. Okay, next up is Follow the Drinking Gourd. This is a spiritual that really gives you a lot to dig into with the text, with the symbolism in the text and the historical context of this piece. Greg Gilpin has given us a really great arrangement for developing voices here. You've got independent lines and stacked ostinati that are exciting to sing. And it's always nice to have a minor key piece on your program for a little harmonic variety as well. The choral rehearsal guide available in SmartMusic for this piece includes a vocal warm-up that Greg created based on the melodic and rhythmic patterns that you'll encounter in this arrangement.
When the sun comes up and the first quail calls, follow the drinking gourd. For the old man waits for to lead you on. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Well, the old man is waiting for to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow, I'm gonna follow. Yes, follow, I'm gonna follow. Ella's riverbed makes a mighty fine road. Yes, follow the drinking gourd. And the troubles that surround you are a heavy load. Yes, follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Well, the old man is waiting for to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Thought I heard the old man say, follow. The stars in the heavens are showing the way. Follow the drinking gourd. 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 While the old man is waiting for to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow.
Wow, that is such an exciting piece, and I can tell you that it is just as satisfying in every voicing of it, in the SATB, the 3-part, and the 2-part. You know, I was very excited at the beginning of this to tell you about all the pluses you get in PerformancePlus, and we've shown you some already, but wait, there's more, because you get rehearsal guides with background information. That could be historical context, it could be pronunciation, it could be a poetic text. In many cases, like this song, you'll see warm-up ideas from the composer, rehearsal techniques of how to teach this, and oftentimes it's broken down section by section, measure by measure, of what order to teach it in, and what could work for your choir. Also, performance suggestions, such as sign language videos and things like that. If we take a look at this example of a rehearsal guide, you can see right in here where Greg has put an example of a warm-up that you can do. I do want to demo a little bit about where to find all of these, as well as some of the assessment features that we talked about earlier. So I'm going to have you take a look at my screen right now, and we'll jump into SmartMusic. So here I am on the SmartMusic homepage. Let's go up to the search box, and let's search for Follow the Drinking Gourd. Here it is, PerformancePlus 2-part, 3-part mixed, and SATB. And if I click, I have a few tabs to choose from. The digital tab is anything that I can print out. So we can open the choral octavo, which is the same choral music we all know and love. But on the front page, there are some interesting links, like the link to our rehearsal guide, which gives all sorts of background information from the composer, as well as warm-up ideas, and step-by-step for how to teach this. I also have ability to download accompaniment MP3s and use interactive part predominant tracks. Let's take a look at those assessment tools. And I can find those here too on the interactive tab. I'll go to part predominant and open that up. And I'm a tenor in case you couldn't tell, but I feel like a challenge today, so let's select bass voice. And I'm about to see an extracted bass part. I can always get back to my octavo by clicking here. And the cool thing is, when I select a place to start and press play, I hear just the bass part. Let's take a listen.
Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Well, the old...
And I can click on any note and hear what it is. If I forgot what a G sounded like. Let's use some self-assessment tools. I'll come back here to measure 17. I can change the tempo if I want to. And let's click record. I'll test my mic. And then I'll put my headphones in. And here we go. I'll make some mistakes on purpose. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Well, the old man is a-waiting for to carry you to freedom. And just like that, I can see which notes I got perfectly in tune and which notes I need to work on a little bit. And if I'm feeling brave, I can play back my own recording. Follow the drinking gourd. And that recording, if this were an assessment, can be sent off to the teacher, or I can use it in my own practice at home. So there's really so much that you can do when you and your students are SmartMusic subscribers to get access to all of those pluses. Let's take a look at some music now. A Madrigal remix. Here are two well-known madrigals from the 1500s, but not like you've ever heard them before, because in a true Kirby-Shaw style, he's added a rhythm section to give us a more contemporary feel, but I think retaining that light, joyful, dance-like quality at the same time that you find in both of these pieces. Let's jump in and listen.
Sing we enchanted, fall of branding, fall la la la, fall la la la, la la. Sing we enchanted, fall of branding, fall la la la, fall la la la. Not long you passive and foolish haste, now is the pleasure to take our pledge. Fall la la la, fall la la la, fall la 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 la. Not long you passive and foolish haste, now is the pleasure to take our pledge. Fall la la la, fall la la la, fall la la la.
What a cool, fresh approach to that piece. And Kirby does give us some rehearsal techniques in the rehearsal guide. Next up, we have a setting of a Christina Rossetti poem by another one of our star writers, Ruth Gray. Ruth is also a classroom teacher, and she says in her rehearsal guide that we should start with the text. So I'm going to read it to you now, right out of the guide. Boats sail on the rivers, and ships sail on the seas, but clouds that sail across the sky are prettier far than these. There are bridges on the rivers, as pretty as you please, but the bow that bridges heaven overtops the trees and builds a road from earth to sky is prettier far than these. Let's put the music to it.
Boats sail on the rivers, and ships sail on the seas, but clouds that sail across the sky are prettier far than these. There are bridges on the rivers, as pretty as you please, but the bow that bridges heaven and overtops the trees and builds a road from earth to sky is prettier far than these. Boats sail on the rivers, and ships sail on, but clouds that sail across the sky are prettier far than
Don't you just love the way she weaves those themes through? You can almost hear the rainbow in the music. It's a great example of a two-part piece that doesn't have to be just for kids. It can really work for any age treble group. Next up, we have Kolyadá. This is a Russian folk song arranged by Mark Burrows. And Kolyadá is kind of the tradition, the period around Christmas time, which has a more modern meaning that refers to the tradition of moving from house to house and greeting people with song, kind of like Christmas caroling. This has English interjected throughout, and it restates that main theme in a variety of different ways. Mark has more info in his rehearsal guide, but let's jump in and take a listen, and then Krista will come back and take some questions after this.
Kolyadá, Kolyadá, celebrate this night of nights. Kolyadá, Kolyadá, tune the tree and light the lights. Kolyadá, Kolyadá, celebrate this night of nights. Kolyadá, Kolyadá, celebrate this night of nights.
All right, it is time for questions. So before we have our final piece today, if you've got any questions, drop them in the chat. And if we haven't covered them already, we can discuss them with you now. I have seen a few comments and questions about wanting more webinars, so that's exciting. Felicia has put in the chat a link of where you can go to keep track of the upcoming webinars that will be happening for Make Music. So that would include SmartMusic webinars. And there are always webinars happening, as Felicia can tell you. So keep up to date by checking that website and watching your emails and social media for those announcements of upcoming events. Let's see. Oh, also, I wanted to point out, Andy, you mentioned in a chat comment just that there are all these different voicings available for each of these pieces, and they're all the voicings available in SmartMusic, which I think is a great feature.
That's right. And if it hasn't been made clear yet, we recorded every one of the voicings, which we've never done in the choral publishing industry, every voicing. Years ago, we only did one voicing. Sometimes we'll do two of the three. But for this series in SmartMusic, it's literally every voicing. You're going to have the perfect vocal models. And when you use the part predominant tracks, you're hearing those same singers mixed to the front, whatever section is rehearsing. So it's an amazing tool. I loved what I think it was Deborah said in chat, like game changer in my classroom. Really,
Yes.
I think it can innovate the way we plan and teach for our choral students.
Absolutely. And someone else asked about sharing this webinar, and this webinar is being recorded, and we'll have a link to the recording coming out in a follow-up email. So if you want to share this information with another teacher or one of your colleagues, you can do that way.
I've got one more point I'm just going to throw in for anybody who isn't familiar already with SmartMusic. Know that when you get a subscription and you get your student subscriptions, you're not just accessing these 10 songs, which we're really excited about right now, but there are hundreds of choral pieces and even more band and orchestra and other instrumentation pieces in there. That all comes with your subscription. We're just highlighting the newest choral series here. So it's just a really, really incredible resource.
Yes, these 10 titles have these pluses that we've been explaining, but you do have access to all those hundreds of other choral pieces in the platform, as well as vocal solo literature, sight singing exercises and methods. Your Sing at First Sight is in SmartMusic, I believe, Andy.
Yeah, as is Vocalize.
And Vocalize warm-ups, yeah. So you're getting a lot of content available in there. You could basically program your entire year of programs with literature that's available to you in SmartMusic. I think that hopefully covers all of your questions for today. Just a couple of final notes. We want to thank you for tuning in. And if you want to revisit any of these titles or read again about the features of SmartMusic and PerformancePlus, go to this website, smartmusic.com/APP-choral. APP is for Alfred Performance Plus. And for anyone who wants to just purchase and print the octavos outside of SmartMusic, you can do that by going to TotalSheetMusic.com. You can buy the number of copies that you need and print them there. And now I'll turn it back over to Andy for our final piece.
Yeah, before we dig into this finale, I want to talk to you about some of the pluses with this particular one. This was written by my personal mentors, Sally Albrecht and Jay Althouse. And as part of the Performance Plus series, you are going to get the tools you need to perform this song with American Sign Language. What do I mean by that specifically? Sally designed the sign language, and she's created a video which you'll access in SmartMusic to help you and your students learn. I thought, before we actually review the song, let's listen to a little bit of that video and take a look at what I'm talking about. Here's the video.
Here's sign language for when words are not enough. Left index up, thumb and index here. Not enough. Add melody. One voice. Not enough. Harmony. Do it again if you sing it again. We perform. New, in and out. Health. Stay strong, comes out from your shoulders. Not enough. Drop it down. Just out front and then in and out for song. Take your right.
Yeah, isn't that pretty? A really great way to enhance your performance. And this starts sweet and soft like you heard there and grows to a big finale moment. I'm excited to see the premiere of this piece later this year here in Raleigh, North Carolina, where it will be the grand finale combined with singers of all ages in the Pieces of Gold choral celebration that happens here at our big performance hall downtown. So this is another one that works very well by combining all the voicings. It was actually written for that purpose. Without further ado, let's check out When Words Are Not Enough. There is a song.
Sing in harmony, harmony. We sing a new song to help us stay strong. When words are not enough, there is a song. A song is there.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Andy, Krista, and Jack, for presenting this music today. We hope everyone has enjoyed this deep dive into our new Performance Plus series, and we look forward to seeing you at the next webinar.